Okay, so this is the second video. So here we go here, and I'll just flash the flashlight around. These are the building products and materials that have been left around. Like I say, they're building a subdivision here. And so the subdivision, it's pretty much a lot of, foliage and stuff. And this is where they're going to be building this. So what we're doing now, this is the pathway that I was telling you about. It's rising at about a 10-degree angle. And so last night I walked up this thinking I was going to get further up there to where the Tim Hortons is. So we're almost near the top, if you can see. There's the moon there. We're almost near the top. If you can see far over there, somewhat, that's where the street is. So we're just walking along here. And near the top here, just to avoid being right near the cars or whatever on the street, I took a right. And I saw, if you can look here, this is what was to my right. It's just kind of like a side of a tiny hill. And I believe there's a few houses beyond there. And we'll be getting to what was really fascinating. I just want you to make sure we're looking to the right here. What was that color? What is that? That color? Where is that? Pink. That's peculiar. Okay, so here we are. If you can see here, we're just walking up this hill. It's still at about a 10-degree angle. I'll just quickly try to show you. There's just debris here. There's mounds of wood chips to my left. Garbage. And so here we are to my right. It's just, more foliage. And as I got up near the road, this is where Alice in Wonderland came into the story, which led to one of the most interesting evenings of my life. So we're almost here. As you can see, there's just a pit there to my left, and we're almost near the top here. Almost. These are trees and kind of bushes just fencing off this area from the street. Pay attention to that word, fencing. It'll come up again. So right there, maybe you can hear, there's the street, the cars. Beyond there is the Tim Hortons and whatnot. So here we are to my right, and then we've still got that hill. So I came up here, and I thought I was just going to reach the top, and soon enough I would be on the street and back at Tim Hortons. But something interesting happened here a little bit ahead. I couldn't really quite figure out what a lot of this was about. Like, it was a peculiar area. You've got 3 columns here. If you can see this, I'm hoping, yeah, you can. It's like a Roman columns here. You can see up here, and then another column there, and then another column over there. But they don't really, it's like almost like an amphitheater, of course. But what is beside it? Foliage, some sidewalking, more foliage. It goes around though. It's like a coliseum. It's like a amphitheater. Isn't that peculiar? Like it's just sitting there by itself. So I came along here. I'm just in front. I'll just wave this back. So I came along here and I just thought, this is going to open up to the road in Tim Hortons. So I'm heading east, and it was just like, it looks like a kind of nice little tiny garden of some sort. Maybe the columns are still there. I'm not sure what the columns are for though. But I kept walking. And here to my right, just so you can see, it's just the same. There's no houses yet. Further beyond here, there's houses. But so basically, if I look back where we just came from, it's just kind of a pathway through foliage. So I kept walking. I noticed, again, I'm trying to give you a good feeling here. Just more columns and kind of almost gazebos, but not the same. They're just columns and a roof over them. There's nothing on the ground to speak of, just grass and weeds that have grown in. So again, further on there is where the Tim Hortons and the Esso are. And, I wasn't afraid of anything. I just kept walking. And then I got here. And this is where everything began to change. So we just ended up with these pillars here. And then there's nothing here. That was very freaky. There's nothing here, but I want to just try to let you see here. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. All right. So it looks like foliage ahead of us to the left, but it's really not just foliage. There's like tree trunks, and it's like a hanging garden. If you can see here, there's like wooden planks, like here, that go and an archway. But, okay, I'm going to pull the light away. Straight ahead of you, do you see any light? No, but frankly, there's a whole pathway ahead of you. Let me show you this. If you can see here, it's pitch black in here, and there's no walls. There's the pillars and empty space, but above you, though, there's something I heard there. I see. You do hear things. It's peculiar. Above you, let's go through this again. Let's look right directly above me. There are pillars or boards and lots of foliage on the ceiling of this thing. So to wrap it up, we've got boards at the very end here, support boards, beams, whatever you want to call. We've got these ones that are vertical that go from top to bottom, and we've got green around the ceiling of them, but not on the sides. So if you look here, you're getting the idea. There's no windows, there's no walls, but there's pillars holding up this roof. And again, so let's see here. This is to my left. And this is to my right. So, okay. This is where we just came from. There's the path we just walked, and we are entering into this thing now. How long does it go? Well, if you look straight ahead, can you see straight ahead? No, it's pitch black. Pitch black. There's the pillar and the ceiling roof with the foliage and another pillar. And so on the ground, this is what is on the ground. It's just basically dirt and leaves and foliage. And to the left here, to the right here, you've got tiny mounds of dirt and you've got some bushes and things. But look at it. If we try to look ahead, it just keeps going and going and going and going. You can't see the end of it because it's just pitch black. If you can see down there, we'll get there. But really what I'm saying is, okay, I'll just scan slowly up and down, starting on the left and moving over to the right to give you as much of a feeling for what I'm looking at. See, you don't see the end of this thing, actually. You cannot physically see an ending. It's just pitch black directly ahead of you. And this is to my right. So last night I did light a candle, and I just started walking. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what this thing was, but I was curious, that's for damn sure. So I just started walking. Just scan. But the thing is, all there were these pillars, these beams at the top, and foliage. And, there aren't many hanging out down onto the main path here, but that's it. And it just was the strangest thing. It was just hard to figure out what the purpose was of this thing, and more so where it was going, and all you could see around you was black. Let me see if I can get the candles out now and add a little more light and just put them somewhere, and then give me a second here. I'll put them in some earth so at least you can see one side of this thing. There's no wind in here, of course, because it's all pretty much cordoned off, and there's not walls, but the hills and the foliage certainly act like good enough walls. So good. We've got one candle, and it shouldn't blow away or anything, so let's put that one there. Okay, work with me here. Okay, there you go. Don't move. Just stay. Don't set fire. Oh, boy. Here we go. We'll get it. Okay. Okay, okay, there you go. Okay, there he is, and we'll do one more. Okay, good. How about we just put this guy right here? So what we're doing is just getting some light. So what I want to show you here then, with these candles on, is this is the right side. It's just like, almost like a place to sit, and it's beside the pillar. And the foliage, it doesn't really give us much, though, in terms of answering what the hell is going on, frankly. Where did the batteries go here? Not good. Oh, there's, no. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, we should be fine. There we go. Okay, so this is really just, we got these two candles, we got just like nothing, just dirt and stuff, and we just can't see, for God's sakes, where the hell this thing ends. Let me walk ahead a few feet, bring the candles with me, and we'll see what we can see then. What I just want to emphasize at this point is there's no way of knowing what the hell we're in. There's no signs, and there's no sign saying when it's going to end. That's the peculiar thing. We just don't know when it's going to end. So, if I can show you here, let me put these to the side, and we'll get a little bit more light. So, if you can see here, I'm looking directly ahead. Do you see an ending to this? Even though, bear with the lighting, do you see any ending to this? I'm scanning the flashlight back and forth. And let me just try to put these here. Let me just put them on the floor, on the ground rather, and let you see that perspective. So it is just stone here. There's one candle, and there's one. Stay up for me. Work with me. Okay, good. All right, let me go back. And so we got the two candles in the middle of the path. And now let me just put the flashlight on. So this is, let me show you then. We'll scan from left to right. And just, it's It's very peaceful. It's tranquil. And so you have these candles here. But if you look, there's no ending. It just keeps going and going and going. I didn't know where I was going. This is to the right. So let's go up here. And it's not a gigantic place, but so I kept walking, and it was pitch black for most of it. I didn't have my flashlight with me, but I did have a lighter, and the cell phone made a bit of light, but it just keeps going on. And then we come here. We just come here where there's a slight little, the path gets a little more narrow. You still have the ceiling the same, but you can see here the path goes from bigger to narrower and less defined. You can hear the highway. That last night it was quieter, but you can hear the highway. And if we look directly behind us, there are the candles we put down, but you can't see where you came in. I'm trying to do as much as I can. It's just a small flashlight, but so let's just keep going here. You come out, the pathway is definitely narrower. There's room for only one to walk comfortably. The foliage now goes way up. We came out of that almost like a mine shaft. We're out of it now. We just got out of it. You can see it here. And so, but on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, we are clearly fenced in by foliage and earth and trees. Look at that. Look how far that tree goes up. And so there's foliage here and straight ahead of us. I'll go slowly. Okay. And foliage directly to my right. And look at the trees. Look at how high the trees are. They're very high. So we're just going to keep walking forward here. And we're just walking. And so you can hear the cars from the highway. That's the Trans-Canada, where you can hear those cars and trucks. And so we come out here, and you just keep walking and walking. And here it opens up somewhat. Let me just try to capture this for you. It opens up. It opens up here. You can see there's more space. Almost like a sitting area here to my left. And this is to my left. Just, you can see you're very much protected or closed in, however you want to look at it, by the hills. Daybreak is just coming, which is good. We're almost done here. I wanted you to have the darkness. And here to my left, I'm a little further up, there's a flat area with some foliage, and then a tree that's probably 100 years old. Keeps going up. And so directly to my upper left, let's scan there. And on the ground in front of me is cement and foliage directly to the left and to the right at ground level. But you see, there's no houses. We haven't seen one house. And so we keep coming along here. And we slowly open up here You can see here. Let me try to show you. We come here, and now we get we're almost like in a garden. You can see here. This is to my left. This struck me. It's just hanging. It's just standing there. Some sort of wicker, pattern fencing. Here we go. If I look here, I walk to my left, and so it's more cement, and directly to my left, more. There are we. Just more foliage covering you. No, you wouldn't be able to see out, and nobody could see in. To my right here now, it's far away now. It's a big almost square. If I can show you here. And the square is covered or encircled by trees and foliage, but in the middle of it, it's like a football field, except it's not, because it goes down maybe about 6 inches, almost like it was a wading pool, or kind of where just flowers are. I'm going here to where I entered from here to this to the square, and here's directly to my right from where I came out of the tunnel. We've got all these wood pieces and just patterned wood pieces, and on the ground there's like loose benches and things. We've got, just kind of this thing, and it's just kind of hanging there, or standing upright there. To my right again here, from where I exited the tunnel, I'll call it, or the walkway. We just got trees. Nothing extraordinary. The thing, that's notable though, is that nobody can really see in and nobody can see out, because everything is covered by these trees or bushes. We're almost going to finish this segment, and I've got one more. And here, there's just another pathway here. This is to the right of where we came out of the tunnel. And again, to my right, trees going up, covering you so that nobody could see in, nobody could see out. So I thought when I was out here, okay, right directly ahead of me then is going to be the road and the Tim Hortons and the Esso. And so, we just keep walking along here. If you can see, it's just, a pathway, nothing extraordinary, not nearly as big or as elegant, but kind of like Versailles. Like, it's almost like it's a court for royalty. And you got another interesting, perplexing, why is this here? What do you call this? It's almost like a gate. Like the Japanese have these gates. They call them mon. And it's just, wood on either side, vertical, and then another set of wood connecting the two at the top. So it's a gate. Here you go. And if we go down here, you can see. And so this gate is standing here, and it's just standing there, and you walk through, and you get to just another part of the grounds, and directly ahead of us here is that football field thing that I was telling you about. So it's pretty, it's nice, but the weird thing is it's just, so what's going on here? There's no signs, there's nothing saying what it's for. It's not tended very well. It needs, to be it needs pruning. And so here's another gate. For what purpose? Who the hell knows? And it goes along. It's like another amphitheater piece. And so I came up here, no big deal, because I thought, okay, great, we're almost finished, and it's just a nice little garden and park area, and I can now go to Tim Hortons. It wasn't as easy to get out of here as I thought. Now, I didn't notice this lot yesterday, but I do now. These Roman type pillars are just, there's 3 of them, of course. And so they're just here, and flowers in the middle. And you can see further along here, it's not a street or road, but just more green going up. Last night, I tried to get out. You can hear the truck in the distance. So I just tried to get out last night by going through here. You can see this cinch. It's just another entrance way. There's no top at it. It's just covered by greenery, shrubs. Now, this thing, I don't know what the hell is going on here, but this thing is at a total angle. It's like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's just at an angle. It's not vertical. It's at a 45-degree angle. It looks like a Christmas tree, but this poor guy isn't going to last very long if he keeps looking like that. So, if you can see here, he's at an angle. This one is also at an angle. It's not standing upright, it's at an angle. This one's okay. That one's at an angle. This one's at an angle. Like someone has clearly pulled these out of the ground. They were vertical, presumably at one point, but somebody pulled the whole goddamn tree out of the ground, bush out of the ground. Keep walking here. It sounds like we're getting to the road in the Tim Hortons. And so this is just this big, huge pile of stuff. Just garbage here. Okay, so we're at 27 minutes in this segment. Just for ease, I'm going to stop this and then restart a new segment.